We are recording, Yvonne. You have the floor.
Okay. Hello, everybody. Now we are going to start the session 3 of the seminar, of the fourth seminar related to automated extraction of data. In this session, we are going to tackle how to gather news data, okay? And we are going to gather data from Google News API and New York Times API, okay? So as you know, Google News is a news platform that gather uh, all newses about different subjects, and okay, and um, we can query, make queries to this API. Okay, so let's go. Okay, so it's Google News is a news aggregator service, and there are many publishers and magazines, okay, and journals in this platform. In order to gather the data, we have to install. There are two libraries that are useful to gather this data, that are Google News and Newspaper 3K. Okay, so just we have to install both of them, and then we are going to import these libraries also. Okay, so now let's see which news was published in May 2020. Okay, we can filter by a time frame. Okay, and for instance, we are going to look which news was published in May 2020. So for this, just we have to define these parameters. Start date, that is, you have the date format is like this, and you have to take be cautious of this because if you change if you put this the date value in another format, maybe you get an error or okay. And then we have to define also which is the searching term. Okay, in our case, we are going to search by the term Bilbao, the city of Bilbao. Okay, and then we are going to ask the results for this, take into account these two parameters, and print this, which are the news. Okay, so if you run this code, you get the five first news that you get are related to this. What you see here, two of them are related with the Bilbao soccer team, Athletic Bilbao. Okay, well, three of them, and then there are other ones related I don't know very well the Defense Force. I don't know why appear Bilbao in this news. It needs further analysis, okay, to see why is appearing this term in this news, okay. Okay, then we can transform this data in a more readable format, running this code. Okay, of course, if you want, you can choose another searching term, okay, your city or your what you want, okay, and that it is still running. No. And we are going to get this data in this table format, okay. So as you can see, in this code, what we are saying is that we are gathering the data from the first 20 pages, okay, and this
Excuse me,
yes.
Yvonne, if I may. This this is very useful because Merlin yesterday did us analysis of the influence of the advertising in TV in the impact on the number on sales. Okay. Here you are extracting data from Google News, and interestingly, of course, we could analyze in the future the impact of the visibility in Google News on sales, or arrivals in the tourist destination or whatever. So it is very useful. Thank you, Yvonne.
Yeah, thank you. As you can see, the data that we gather is, first of all, the title of the news, the media that publish the news. It could be also interesting to analyze which media are publishing news related to a term, for instance, Bilbao, okay? And we have the link of the news, and we can, in a further analysis, we'll be able to go to this page and also download the page code, the HTML code, and parse the file and gather the data from the web page. If it is open, of course, there are some medias that maybe they are not open, and maybe we have problems to gather the data. Okay, but we can. This is the main data that we gather from this Google News library. Okay, maybe we it requires further analysis and go deeply in the library. Maybe there are also an option to get some description of the news. Okay, for instance, in the maybe in some libraries it is possible, and it requires to go deeply, okay, to see if it's possible to gather a description beyond the title of the news, okay. But for instance, now we can know how many news are published in a time frame, and also which media are publishing about this term. And of course, this media are related also with a location, or with a culture, language, okay. So we can extract from here also more data. And basically, in the next cells, we are going to just to gather this data into files, into an Excel file, for instance. And if you go to the folder of where you have the notebook, and you can see now all the news with the title and the media related to which have the Bilbao term. Okay. And interesting also how many days ago, well, it would be the day. From here we can gather the date, that it's here, no? The date with the publishing date. Okay, and as always, we'll try. The best thing is to do some explorative analysis, visualizing the data, or figuring out some indicators or some statistics from this data. Okay, and we can, for instance, visualize a bar graph. Okay, and you have here this. I think that it is the best way to see in this graph. We are seeing how many news are publishing each media. Okay, each media related to the Bilbao term in this time frame, the time frame that we said before, May of 2020. Okay, so from applying this kind of programming, we can gather a lot of data, and we can, from here, after we can develop more advanced analysis and make further studies. And that's it. This is the case study of Google News API. So if you have you tried to running the code? Do you have any problem? Do you want to ask any question relating to this sample? Please let me know. Okay.
I think it is clear, Yvonne. Thank you.
Okay. So we are going to go to the next case study, that is to gather data from the New York Times API, okay? The New York Times API requires a key, an API key, okay? In the other cases that we see before.
Excuse me, Yvonne. Maybe
yes.
you can explain how we use this in the last article, in the Superstar Museums article.
Okay. In the last.
Maybe you can Google it.
We have. So this is one of our articles, and in this article we analyze the Superstar Museums and global media exposure, mapping the positioning of the Guggenheim Museum Bilbao through networks, and we gather the data from New York Times. We'll see how many articles in New York Times are related to Guggenheim Museum Bilbao along more than 20 years, okay? And we'll analyze also the co-citations of this museum of Guggenheim Museum Bilbao with other museums worldwide, such as New York Guggenheim, or Louvre Paris, or Prado in Madrid, or all the most 100 most popular, most visited museums in the world. And we build a network making use of these co-citations in these articles. We suppose that the co-citations somehow are reflecting the relations between the museums, okay? So if Guggenheim museums appear in a news together with Prado Museum or Louvre Museum, it means that in this news there is something that some relation among these museums, and we build a network and we analyze the network topology or network topology analysis. And this is more or less what we did. Maybe Beatriz or Marisol, do you want to add anything else?
No, thank you so much, Yvonne. It is just that there is a positive correlation between media exposure and visitors to museums, obviously.
That's it. And in the conclusion of
this is the main point, that the higher the visibility everywhere, and even in sales and companies, and the bigger the media exposure, global media exposure, the bigger the sales, the bigger the number of visitors to the museums. So this is why Yvonne is performing now the extraction of media exposure in the New York Times, which is a very influential global newspaper. So you have the floor. Thank you, Yvonne.
Okay, thank you, Beatriz. Okay, so in order to to build, as we see before, in order to gather the data from an API, we need to build the query, okay? But there are some APIs that are open, and other ones that requires some key API keys, okay? So if you want to gather the data, you have to register and you have to gather the data, okay? So I think that, excuse me, I want to, I have to see where. Just a minute. I have to find one thing. Okay. Now, yes. Okay, you can see the New York Times API. Yes. Now here, New York Times article API. Okay. The first thing, as I said, you have to register to the API. Yeah. So if I am going to enter now from another place, and maybe like this. Okay, so you enter here, but you need to get a SIM in, okay? And you have to create an account and enter in your account, okay? Once you do this, you get to this other to your account, and here you enter in the APIs section, and there inside this section you can see that there are different databases or different APIs that offer New York Times. There are API for articles, for books, for popular other popular articles, movies, reviews, etc. Okay, we are interested in this article search API, so we'll try to. You can find here the documentation and the how it works. Okay, but the first of all, what we need is we have to go here in our account. We have to go to the API PPS section, and we have to activate or enable which API do we want or we want to work with. Okay, in our case, article search API, and it appears here. Once you enable the API, you get the API key. Okay, so you have to copy this key. This is the API key that you must use to make the queries. Okay, so now you know how to get this API, and it works similar with other APIs that require an API key, okay? So we are going now to the notebook, and we are going to use this a key to make the query. Okay, so the first thing we have to do is to install the library by New York Times, okay? Then we have to import this, okay? And then we have to get the API key, as we see, and we run the code. You have to pass the code here, okay, in this. And then we have to define which is the search query, okay? So we are going to use, as before, the query Bilbao, okay? And we are going to see what we get, okay? Okay, I think that it's still executing because I have asked many. But for instance, we are going. Maybe I'm going to stop the. I'm going to stop the code. And I have some issues here with the kernel starting. Okay. 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 And by default, if you run this cell, defining the parameter query with Bilbao, by default you get 10, just 10 results. Okay, we can see which one they are. And we have here in a not very readable format. Okay, but here they are these 10 news. And if we want to get or define the more specifically the query, we can, of course, we can look into the documentation, and for instance, in order to define a time frame for the gather the articles, okay, from one day to another. For instance, here I want to gather data of the 1990s, okay, the 10 years, these 10 years, okay. So I have to import this library, the time, and then I can ask to gather here in the query. I have to define the parameter dates and also results. Okay, by default, each time it gives you only 10 results. So you have to program a script in order to add and every 10 results. Okay, but we are going to try. Maybe I think that it's too much for it is. You know that it is limited the queries that the requests that you can do to the API are limited, so you have to address with these limitations. And there are some, when you find this kind of problems, you can to avoid these limitations. There are ways, for instance, such as sleep in each request. Instead, request all the time continuously. You can request making small stops of in the programming. Okay, so you can say, okay, make a request, stop 10 seconds or 5 seconds, and make another request, stop, and okay, in order to address these limitations. Okay, so now here we have these 10 results, and we can see also now we of course now I didn't have time to, because I developed this programming in another language, in R language, and I didn't have enough time to programming in Python the same. Okay, so it's these are the basics. I have we gather here the main the news, but now we have to analyze in each news and see which are the citations of Bilbao with another terms, for instance, and see how many citations there are, and so on. Okay, and it is the example, the last example that I have to show. Thank you.
This is more than enough, Yvonne. So thank you so much for your wonderful seminars today. I think we are really lucky that you gave us these excellent presentations on automated extraction of data. I would like to also thank Merlin for yesterday's presentation on the use of Python for data science, Baksis the day before yesterday, who delivered also wonderful presentations, and also to Jensi for the interaction. So thank you all. This is the end of the lectures for...
Okay. Just, Beatriz, just...
Yes, please.
If you want to go deeply in web scraping, there are of course, there are many resources in the web, but I suggest you this book that is open, and you can. I'm going to share with you the link, and you can download the book, and you can go deeply in the scraping technology. Okay.
Okay, so thank you so much, Yvonne. All the coding will be uploaded to Google Drive. And as I mentioned before, I would like to thank all the presentations from this week. Yvonne, thank you for your presentations. Merlin, thank you for your presentation yesterday. Baxis, thank you for your presentation, and Yancy. And last but not least, I would like to thank to Belén, María Belén Mendizabal, for having done this possible. Okay. So thank you so much, and see you in Porto next week. Bye-bye.
Okay.
And obviously, thank you for all that attendees.
Thank you.
All the partners from the consortia.
Thank you.
And my best regards also to Estonia,
Thank you.
Tajikistan, India, Portugal, and Spain. So see you in Porto. Bye-bye.
See you.
See you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for
Bye-bye.
session, for presentation.
Bye-bye.